Good evening, folks. This is Deb, and this is yet another Shut the Fuck Up. You know, Gavin Newsom is starting to get under my skin and make a dent, okay? It's not bad enough that he's got his own little podcast now, and his first guest was Charlie Kirk, a far right-wing activist who runs Turning Point USA. But he's just crossed the line yet again in an interview where he stated that Kilmar Abrego Garcia's abduction, deportation, and confinement in a concentration camp in El Salvador is, quote, the distraction of the day. Distraction of the day. Gavin Newsom can shut the fuck up. None of this is a distraction, okay? It's as irritating as people who call the attack on transgender people in America a distraction so that we can pay attention to that instead of paying attention to what Donald Trump is doing elsewhere in America. Let me remind Gavin Newsom and everybody else who makes statements like this that you can find all of what's going on that we're talking about tonight in the playbook known as Project 2025. These are not distraction. These are part of the agenda of the Trump regime. So let's get that straight. Let's get that straight. So let's say a few other names that might qualify as distractions for Gavin Newsom. How about Rumeysa Öztürk, who was kidnapped off the streets of Somerville, Massachusetts, not far from where I live, for writing an op-ed for the Tufts University newspaper, a pro-Palestinian op-ed for the Tufts University newspaper. There is absolutely no evidence that she is anti-Semitic, and there is absolutely no evidence that she has any ties to Hamas whatsoever. Yet she was whisked away to a gulag in Louisiana over an op-ed that she actually co-wrote with other people. There's some more people we'd like to mention here. How about Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian activist who led the last year's, spring protests at Columbia University? That's perhaps where all of this started, was with his abduction. How about Mohsen Madawi, another Palestinian activist who has been a legal permanent resident with a green card since 2015, who was to be attending an interview at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services in Colchester, Vermont. This should have been a meeting about finalizing his U.S. citizenship. He was abducted and taken away by ICE. None of these things are distractions. And we're not going to call where these people are taken to anymore prisons. They are concentration camps. Let's make this abundantly clear. This is totally un-American. None of this is about making America stronger. And none of this is a distraction in any sense of the word. These are human beings who have been here in America, not creating any danger for anyone. They maybe just hold a political opinion that differs with a fascist friggin' idiot running this country, who wants to see anybody who advocates for decency towards the Palestinian people as anti-Semitism. That's absolute bull. You know what? It really, really gets under my skin when people who are touted as potential 2028 candidates worry more about what their polling numbers look like than what's exactly going on in this country. And none of the people who actually do that should be on the top of anybody's list of candidates to run this country in the future. Gavin Newsom has crossed the line not once but twice now. He is at best a moderate Democrat. And maybe that's not what we need anymore. Maybe we need to understand that in order for us to regain what we should be, we need somebody who will push the boundaries to the left a little bit and stop playing footsie with the actual facts about what's going on here in America. Only until we come face to face with this, and only until people have the spine to stand up to this shit, will we survive. We must reject out of hand anyone who attempts to characterize this kind of behavior as a distraction. I will talk to you all later.